Good morning, guys. And today is April 17th. It is Friday. A couple announcements. I know you are frustrated with Edpuzzle, just like I am frustrated with Edpuzzle. I truly don't know what to do. Um, if you've logged in and gone to our class, I know people have had luck that way. If you've logged in, gone to our class, and all you're still getting is spinning, that to me, that sounds like an Edpuzzle site itself. Okay, that's their issue. I don't understand. Like I've on my computer, I get on right away and I'm logged into the Edpuzzle site. I tried it on my phone and it loaded up quickly and worked when I logged in that way. So I truly have no idea why it is being as stubborn as it is. I talked to our team and I know Mr. Warner is also using Edpuzzle and he's having some of the same issues where the video is just loading and loading and it's not playing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to post the first video, so Causes of the Civil War Part 1, just as a YouTube video. And I will have the questions on a Google Doc. So if you cannot get into Edpuzzle and Edpuzzle is still causing you trouble, I'm going to post the video and the questions. My expectation is that you answer the questions on the Google Doc. If you've already done the Edpuzzle, you're good. You do not have to do it twice because that would be silly. So again, if you have not had success getting into Edpuzzle, I'm posting the first video with questions here probably the next 20 to 30 minutes. It'll be on Google Classroom. Because what I don't want you to not do it. Okay? Because this is important because it won't make any sense if you don't get it done. Okay? So I know you're frustrated. I am just as frustrated, and I apologize if my frustration is coming out in emails to you. But it's frustrating because, like, I know on my end it's working. Like, I can get in on two different sources, and I mean, I know all our situations are different. I know our internet providers are different, and I don't know if Edpuzzle is just overwhelmed by the mass number of people who are for other schools, not just us, but throughout Ohio, throughout the country that are trying to use this website. So I don't know. Okay, I don't have an answer, but I will post the video and I will post the questions in our Google Classroom. So if you have not had success with Edpuzzle, I will post it there. Okay. The part 2, I'll have to get that other link from Ms. Flack. She's the one who made it. I only have the Edpuzzle for that one. Okay. So we'll get it taken care of. If you don't get it done like today, you can do stuff next week. Don't just brush it off and be like, oh, yeah, I can't get to it. No, you're going to have an opportunity. I'll make sure you'll get it, have access to it some way, shape, or form. Okay? Keep trying. Don't give up on me. Okay? I know it's frustrating. I understand that I'm frustrated, but we will make this work the best we can. Okay? So, the first Edpuzzle will be posted as a YouTube link with a Google Doc for questions if you did not have success with the Edpuzzle. Okay. The second video, if you've been able to watch that, continues the causes of the Civil War with like the Dred Scott decision. Okay, Dred Scott was a slave who was taken into a free state. He sued his master for his freedom, arguing that he was taken out of a slave territory and given, like, in a free state. Like, he legit should have been free because he went from a slave state to a free state. When it went to the Supreme Court, however, the Supreme Court ruled that he was property. And because Dred Scott was deemed as property, he was not granted his freedom. That is all sorts of wrong. I hope you realize that is all sorts of wrong. He was deemed a person as property. That's terrible. But remember, during this time period, that was their thought process. Okay? With slavery being especially held in the South, you owned someone. That was like a contract. They worked for you, but you owned them. So when Dred Scott tried to sue for his freedom, because technically he was in a free state, it was denied. So your escalation of that tension between the North and South, especially with that moral issue of those are people. Those are people. not just property, they're people. So that tension is building because the North, not everyone in the North, but a very large majority of people are seeing this as a moral wrong. Slavery is not something that should be occurring. Okay, and the South is saying we need slavery for our agricultural purposes. This is how we thrive. Okay, so you're going to have two very different opinions. And then going into the Lincoln Douglas debates. Side note, Abraham Lincoln was not very successful in his careers, like of anything. He failed a lot. Okay, so if you ever say you can't do something, I want you to think about Abraham Lincoln because he failed so many times. And he could have said at any point, I'm not going to do this. I've already failed the first time, the second time, I'm done. I'm done. No, he kept going. Okay. And Stephen Douglas was on the side of slavery. Okay. He painted Lincoln as someone who, wanted to destroy the South, who wanted to end slavery for his own benefit. And Lincoln, I want you also understand, Lincoln didn't run on the 1860 ballot to end slavery. He wanted to keep the Union together and he wanted to work towards like unity. That wasn't his original mission. But, those debates were ugly. They were ugly. Okay. And then Harper's Ferry. I'm just doing like a little summary of the video, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm jumping around so much. Harper's Ferry. See, and this is why I miss you guys, because John Brown, favorite crazy white guy in history. Remember back when we talked about Bleeding Kansas, yesterday's video, Bleeding Kansas, the Potawatomi Massacre, that was John Brown and his sons who attacked that pro-slavery encampment in Kansas and said, slavery is wrong. God has sent me here to end slavery because it is a moral wrong. It is wrong against the people. So John Brown organized Harper's Ferry with his sons. He had this whole idea he was going to have a slave revolt, get the slaves around that area to come with him, arm them, because Harper's Ferry was an arsenal. An arsenal holds weapons. So he was going to arm the slaves and have an armed revolt. He was successful getting in to Harper's Ferry Arsenal. However, I believe I want to say army, led ironically by Robert E. Lee, captured John Brown. They killed his sons. They captured John Brown, and eventually he would be sentenced to treason, and they would execute him by hanging. Okay? To the north, John Brown was awesome. He was someone who was taking a very radical approach to try to end slavery. To the South was terrified of people like John Brown because they could see this as igniting hope for the slaves that other people would step up to this. And they were terrified that other people were like, oh, someone could be another John Brown. We don't want that. Okay? But John Brown's legacy, like, it was there. I mean, his radical approach, because he was so passionate about wanting to end slavery and seeing it as a moral wrong and evil. Like, go John Brown. Okay, he sacrificed literally everything for his cause. Okay, and by the time the election of 1860 was coming up, there's so much tension. Like, I wish you have a rubber band that you snap, because that's where we're at. In the South, Lincoln's name wasn't even on every ballot. Okay, so when you go to the polling place, you have your ballot, you have the list of names for all the people of the parties running. Lincoln's name didn't even show up on a lot of those, but he still won the election based on the Electoral College votes. Okay, so even if he didn't win the popular vote, Lincoln won the Electoral College votes. And upon Lincoln winning the election, South Carolina will be the first state to secede in December. Okay? South Carolina's like, peace out, Girl Scout. I ain't doing it. If Lincoln's my president, I'm not doing it. And shortly after, you had lots of other southern states like Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas. They're all going to follow suit. Virginia will secede. Interesting part about Virginia, though. You know how we have Virginia and West Virginia? This is where West Virginia is created, okay? Because there is that portion of Virginia that's like, we don't want to be with you guys. We don't support your cause. So West Virginia is going to be created out of that, okay? So, again, I really wish we were all together. I do, because I could probably solve the Edpuzzle issue in person. We have a lot of meaningful questions and discussion in person. But we are, we have what we have right now, and we will work through it the best we can. All right, I promise you that. I will get that video and questions pulled up onto our Google Classroom here very soon. Probably once I post this video, I'll get that taken care of for you. I'm sorry that it's not working. I wish I had all the answers and technological knowledge to fix Edpuzzle, but I can't. So we'll do what we can. All right. But before I sign off of here, let's go ahead and do our Today in History. And I'll let you get back to work, and I gotta get back to work. So today, on this April 17th, 1790, Benjamin Franklin dies. Okay, what was Ben Franklin known for? And there are going to be various answers for this one, because he's known for a lot of things. So what was Ben Franklin known for? 1961, the Bay of Pigs invasion. The Bay of Pigs invasion took place in what country? 1970, Apollo 13 returns to Earth. What happened to the Apollo 13 when it was in space? And then, because you all always ask me to play something current, here you go. On this day in history, 2020, your #1 song is by The Weeknd, and it is Blinding Lights. So I hope you are happy to hear something that is current. So here you go. Alexa, resume. And I don't know any of the words. I hope you can hear it say too. It's very catchy. I'll go. I'm blinded by the light. Oh, I can't sleep. All right. I'll take care of that for y'all. I'll talk to you later, all right?